First up is an item that restores one of each type of spell slot of the chosen level. Now most players wouldn't know this because nowhere on the item does it say it does this. This effect is amazing for characters with the warlock subclass who have both a warlock spell slot and a regular spell slot, because if you try to restore a spell slot level that you have both a warlock and regular spell slot, this amulet will grant you both of them back. And even better is using this on a Gale origin playthrough when you choose to absorb the Shadow Weave for a level 3 shadow spell slot, allowing this amulet to restore 3 spell slots: the shadow spell slot, the warlock spell slot, and the regular spell slot. And this amulet is none other than the SPELLCRUX Amulet, and it can be found on the corpse of the Warden in the prison below Moonrise Towers. And if you like that tip, don't forget to click like and subscribe for more Baldur's Gate 3 videos. And next up is a bow that can make your spells cause fairy fire. The Hellrider's Longbow has a special passive feature called Fiendish Fire. Once per turn, a creature hit by this weapon will possibly be afflicted by fairy fire. Fairy fire is incredible, causing your attacks on the target to have advantage, and they cannot turn invisible. However, this doesn't just apply to your attacks with the bow like you might think. Spells of any kind will also trigger a saving throw against Fiendish Fire. This is great for large AoE spells like Fireball or Destructive Wave on a cleric to spread fairy fire to all of your enemies. And to obtain this amazing bow, you'll need to purchase it off Ferg Droger, a hidden merchant located in Rivington in Act 3. And unless you let Shadowheart slay the Night Song, you won't be able to trade with Ferg with Shadowheart in your party, so be careful as you wander Rivington. And next up is an amulet most players miss. This amulet allows you to use your reaction to guarantee that an attack misses your ally. However, getting this amulet requires you to give up the Githyanki egg to Lady Esther in the Trielta Crags. From there, you'll need to head to the Society of Brilliance Lodge in Act 3, where you will finally meet Ptaris, who has now hatched from the Githyanki egg. Now, the only way to get this amulet from him is by looting it from his corpse. Now, notably, Ptaris is labeled as a Githyanki prodigy, and he is level 12, equipped with very unique spells such as Vacuum Missile and Sapping Strike, which creates magical effigies. Now, this same Ptaris would also be known as Zan, Lae'zel's adopted son, if we had let Lae'zel keep the egg. So if you've ever wondered what Zan would have looked like or been like, Ptaris is as close as we can get. And next up is an amazing trick to avoid getting lethargic after drinking a potion of speed. Now, if you drink a potion of speed and it's about to run out and cause lethargic, which stuns you for a whole turn, you can instead just drink another potion of speed and it will extend the hastened condition back to its maximum duration. And most importantly, you will avoid wasting a turn due to lethargic. Now, this can be a real lifesaver if you're in a close battle and can't afford to become lethargic, but be sure to drink the potion as your last action that turn, because it will immediately end your turn once you drink it. So make sure to expend all of your actions before using the potion of speed with your last bonus action. However, you cannot extend the duration of haste the same way. Whether you try casting haste on yourself again or casting haste again from another party member, haste cannot be extended in the same way a potion of speed can be. And next up is the second Noblestalk, which most players miss. Noblestalk is incredible because it allows you to do a number of different things. You can restore one of Shadowheart's memories, one of the Dark Urge's memories, and actually a different one depending on if the Urge has met Scalarida's Fel yet. You can use it to cure Balin, you can give it to Dareth, or even cure Thulla with it. Not only that, but Noblestalk also heals you to full and removes all negative conditions when consumed, which can definitely save your life in battle. And what most people miss is that there is a second Noblestalk located in the lower city of Act 3. Now, to get this Noblestalk, head to the Facemaker's Boutique right across from Elerathan's home, close to the Baldur's Gate waypoint. Once inside, lockpick the trapdoor and head into the basement. On the table with lab equipment, you will find a Noblestalk piece. And while it's just a piece, it still heals you to full health and removes all conditions like a regular Noblestalk would. However, it won't restore memories like the one you find in the Underdark. And next up is a hidden interaction with Owlbear Rage. This condition grants +2 strength, resistance to all physical damage, and grants the ability to multi-attack. This is extremely powerful, especially when playing on honor difficulty and there are 2 owlbears. But did you know that you can use Calm Emotions to completely remove this condition? Calm Emotions is a level 2 enchantment spell that causes targets to become immune to charm, frighten, or enrage effects. And when used on targets who already have those conditions, it will immediately remove them. So next time you head into the Owlbear Nest, make sure your cleric or bard has Calm Emotions prepared so you can quickly nullify Owlbear Rage. But make sure not to use it too early, because Calm Emotions also removes a condition on the owlbear called Distressed, which makes it unable to critically strike and gives it a disadvantage on perception ability checks. And next up is how to get Act 2 Spore Servants. Now to do this, all you need to do is get Glut, the Myconid Sovereign, into Act 2 so he can cast Animating Spores. To do this, after you have him join your party, just head to camp and then use an Act 2 waypoint. This will teleport him with you to your waypoint. It's actually that easy. Once there, you'll need to talk to him to get him to join your party again, at which point any current Spore Servant you had will also appear at that point. Then you can go around Act 2 using Animating Spores. I personally use this to get a Measle pet, which has Garrote, which can be really powerful in combination with its Shadow Teleport ability. However, I will say it is very annoying walking around Act 2 with Glut because he doesn't automatically follow you using this trick. You'll have to manually tell him to keep up, and he drops out of your party seemingly randomly, which is very annoying. I've also found that giving him the order to walk a very large distance and then immediately switching to a party member by hitting F1 through 4 and telling them to move to the exact same spot right after has let me cover large distances without Glut falling out of the party, so that actually worked pretty well. But this is probably not practical nor worth it in most playthroughs to actually do this trick. This is more of if you've ever really wanted a certain Act 2 humanoid or monstrosity as a Spore Servant, since there are quite a few interesting options in Act 2. And next up is Zombie Minthara. This rare version of Minthara can be encountered when you help Balthazar capture the Night Song. Once you return to Ketheric Thorm, you are rewarded by being introduced to the Absolute to be granted everything you ever wanted. However, your prism jumps into action and you are teleported into the Mind Flayer colony where Balthazar has you imprisoned and is working to take the prism from you. And if you look around, you are faced with not only Zombie Minthara, but also Zombie Dror Ragzlin and a number of other undead. And while you are silenced within the Profane Womb, you can still cast if you use Metamagic Subtle Spell despite being silenced. And next up is Rennald, the young tiefling boy with short horns and purple hair. Now if you give Shadowheart the Noblestalk in the Underdark, she'll remember Rennald, a young tiefling boy with short horns and purple hair that stood up for her when she was being teased for her name. But what you might have missed is that this young tiefling boy, as Shadowheart remembers, is actually the same person as Nocturne, a tiefling with short horns and purple hair. And you can actually meet Nocturne and learn more about their friendship when you encounter her in the Cloister of Somber Embrace in Act 3. And last, we have how to get infinite camp supplies in Act 1. Within the Emerald Grove, there is a bear named Orm down by the river. He is catching fish over and over, and if you take one of the fish, he'll actually replace it with another catch. Now, admittedly, it does take him a while to catch these fish, so it's not the fastest way to get camp supplies, but if you're ever going to step away from the game for a bit, when you come back, he'll have a huge pile of fish waiting for you since he never stops catching fish, so you could just sit there all day generating infinite camp supplies if you really wanted to.